Hi Kishan, how are you?
Hey, hi Mansi. I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. So let's see how many people have joined till now. Guys, thanks for joining. We are going to have a wonderful session on opportunities in IT tech today. Kishan, let's wait for a while till people join.
Yes. It will take some time. Let's wait for 2-3 minutes.
Yes. Hey
So I
guys,
will.
meanwhile, I would love to know where are you from? So please write in a comment section that where are you from? Hello. Hello.
Okay, so it may. I think Mansi, there is some lag and live, so we may get comments after 5-10 seconds. So let's wait for
Yes,
a few
yes.
seconds.
Okay, yes, sure. Tejas from Ahmedabad. Okay, so people are joining.
Yeah, it looks like maybe there is noon time and people may have take some time. Like some are
Yes,
coming out bad, having some short nap and they got a notification. We are live.
yes. Hello, Jagdish from Mumbai. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, now I think people are there, so maybe we can start with.
Yes, yes. Let's start then. Hello, everyone. This is Mansi Joshi from CoreCrunch Tech Labs. Today we have a Kishan Pujara with us to share his work experience of IT industry after completion of CA. Kishan is a management consultant analyst at one of the tech giant Accenture and has experience in SAP FICO and Vertex indirect tax consulting. Hi Kishan, thank you so much for taking out time for this webinar. Your session will be very much helpful to fellow CA students and CAs who are exploring IT consulting domain as a career option. So over to you Kishan now. Thank you.
Definitely. So thank you so much, Mansi and Team Codecrunch to give me this opportunity. And it's really great, like being a IT company, like you guys are also thinking that CS are the right fit for consulting, and you are doing taking the steps to get the awareness for CS. Okay.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
everyone, this is Kishan, and let me start with my introduction. I don't know how many of you know me. So, okay, so basically by profession, I'm chartered accountant and I have cleared my CAs in 2015. Okay, and yes, after passing out CAs, I directly jumped into IT consulting role. So I haven't worked in practice after CA. So directly my career got started with consulting. So today's our objective for this setting up this webinar is that after passing out the CAs, majority of the CAs are going to the either practice field or even in campus they try to choose banking sector or even industries like manufacturing or service based industry, but people are not much informed that why PCAs and Infosys are also coming to the campus placement and what is the actual role profile, I would say, that they are offering to CAs like us. So today my agenda is to share knowledge about what are the opportunities as a consultant to work in an IT industry and is this the really industry which we should work upon and are we the right fit for this industry or we have to work on any specific skill set. So let's start with the journey, and I definitely assure you guys that you are going to have a good session, and you will get a very good learning, and will have a one definitely thought that why shouldn't we think about this opportunity earlier. Okay, so let me share the deck here with you all. Okay, guys, so I'm sharing my screen like one deck. Just let me know in the comment section if you can see my screen sharing deck, and even like I'm sufficient to audible, or yeah, or you guys are getting any noise, so I can just check before starting the session. Please reply in the comment if you can see my screen. Reply yes, so that I can consider it that you are able to see my screen. Okay, okay, I can see my screen is visible to all, and even I'm audible. Fine, so maybe we can start with them. Okay, guys, so basically, like from our audience, and either many of you guys are doing your internship or working as a inter CA, or you guys might have passed CAs few years back and currently working in practice or any specific industry. Okay, so basically, if I will explain my introduction, or like who actually the CAs are, there's some issue in audio. Can you guys hear me? Guys, could you please ping if I'm audible to you all? Okay, I think I am audible. I don't know. Fine. Okay, so let's start with the our actual introductions, like basically as a CA student or being a chartered accountant, who we are. Okay, so we are the person who has actually worked in our internship as a helping our clients to get their partnership incorporated, or even their private limited to incorporate in ROCs. We are the interns who has actually worked in auditing, statutory audit, internal audit, and specific business process audit, bank audit, where we used to go to our client place and analyze each and every business process. We audit and vouching each and every invoice, like what is the party who is supplying the goods, or who is our client's customer base, and what they are actually manufacturing. So basically, I would say we are the person, even before passing out CAs, we have actually worked so hard with the client, and we really know totally in and out what is going on in the business. We also help them to also work upon their finance part if they need any help to get them prepared any project finance report to get a working capital loan or OD, such like that. And we also help them to monthly or yearly basis file their income tax return, TDS filings, or even GST returns. So I would say we are always on a 365 days, we are always connected with the business. If I'm not wrong, then we are partnering with our client in each and every business process. For every process they are doing, they will need the help of CAs, right? So if I would say, as a current traditional chartered accountant practice, This is what we have discussed. Even in internship we are doing the same stuff, and after filing or after clearing the CAs, we are doing the same stuff. Okay, so earlier, if I would say before 10 to 15, 20 years back, if you see your senior member in the partnership firm, so like you must have heard that every CAs have some or other way has worked in another CA for 2, 3, 4 years to get an understanding and also to learn how this practice goes work. Even practicing as a CA was very difficult task. But if you see in today's time, it is really so easy. And if you count the number of people who are actually now joining in the CA practice or starting their own practice or joining as a partnership firm, it's really easy for them. Earlier, like human intervention was needed. There was very expertise was needed. Okay, where we must need some specific experience to work or resolve any specific scrutiny or conduct a query or auditing with the client or even answering to assessing officers in the income tax department. But now if you will see, eventually in last 10, 15 years, in everything now we have IT tools available. Okay, so when, if I would say 15 years back, 20 years back, there was no such tools available to calculate income tax returns automatically. Like people have to go to slab by slab, what is the income and salary, what is the income and business profession, what are the reductions they have to take, or what is the specific scenario applicable to the particular business, if they are actually liable for any manufacturing exemption, or are they belong to a specific LLP criteria or partnership exemption. Okay, but if you will see nowadays, there are automatic tools available, there are income tax tools available, there are GST tools available, where you, what you need to do is you have to just enter a very few inputs in the system, and system will give you the entire report, like what should be the GST credit within a state, what should be the GST credit for central tax. So even in income tax, they will give us the very brief about what is the total net tax payable or what is the refund, right? And let me take you one more example. So even in current chartered accountant practices, you guys all are working as an end user, right? Just let me know in the ping section in the chat box, like how many tools you have worked upon in during your chartered accountant practice or during your internship for auditing or for filing income tax return or for GST, right? So basically what we are doing is we are currently the end users of any particular software, right? So if I would say you are using any income tax return tool, so you are using as an end user helping your business to file the income tax returns. Okay. But how these tools are going to be developed? Who is actually working on that? Are these engineers or technical guys who actually knows what should be the tax percentage which should be applicable for individual or for partnership or for corporation, like how taxes should be calculated, where the deductions should be considered before gross total income or before net total income. Who is determining this, or who is helping these product companies to determine the right process before it goes into the software? We have to, or someone have to work upon this to determine the process. Or I would say even like what we have learned in our IPCC, we have someone have to give a flowchart to this engineer or development guy who actually will work upon this, and they will help or do the development or do the coding, and that is how you guys are working on an end user software tool, right? So this is what we are as an end user in our traditional chartered accountant practice. Okay. So coming to the next part is consulting domain. So I have already explained you that currently we are already using the IT tools. We are already working on specific ERPs. We are taking help of Tele ERP for our accounting. Okay. But we are working as a end user. Now, if I will tell you a scenario, okay, that particular business has a I would say, let me take an example of a particular scenario where client wanted to make a very automatic process where CFO just needs to click on a one button and report should be made available to him. He should not be available, should not be waiting for the manager to come to his desk and give him the report. Why should he be dependent on someone when system is that much flexible and can give you the desired output within a fraction of second? Okay, so now let me take an example of cash flow statement. Okay, so let's assume that we have one CFO who actually need a cash flow statement, like from investing activity, from financing activity, or from operating activity. What is the cash flow statement coming in on a monthly basis? They don't want to go for yearly, they want monthly basis. And even as demand, they as on demand. So if I'm just clicking the cash flow statement right now, then I should get the report on a very updated database. I should not get the data based on last month or based on last week. I should get the data available as on date. Okay. So being a consultant, or I would say, now let's take your place or consider it as a, you are not working as an end user for a tool, but you are working as a mediator before developing a tool or a particular software. Okay, so client is giving us a specific requirement. Okay, so being in a consulting domain or being as a consultant, what our role would be that we have to understand what is their requirement. What, or currently, let's say, as I mentioned, the client wanted to go for a specific reporting tool for cash flow statement. Then what is the current process which they are following up to? Are they maintaining Excel sheet, or are they getting data in Tally, or are they using any other tool? So we have to understand that what is the current existing process. Or it can be possible that if the company is very small and they are not spending much on IT tools, then it can be possible that that particular colleague or team member is assigned with a specific task to prepare monthly cash flow statement on a manually basis. This is also simple because anyways we have defined this processes. This is possible out of system as well. But why we are taking help of system is to make it quick, flexible, and ready to see in a one click availability, right? So now, once we are done with the requirement and we have understood their existing process, now our as a consultant, what is the main purpose is that we have to understand that okay, that currently client or our customer is using Tele ERP, but we cannot suggest them to go directly from SAP ERP. Tele ERP is costing 1 or 2 lakh rupees on a yearly basis, or if they have extended any specific features. But if we are suggesting them for SAP ERP, then that would cost them probably 100 crores or 150 crores. So basically based on the client need, based on the client budget, we have to understand what is the perfect right tool which we can suggest to our client, which is matching as per their budget, which is actually flexible enough to tie up with their existing ERP. Okay, so once we are finalized with the particular tool or technology, then we have to think like whether this particular tool or software is ready or pre-configured available, or we need to do any configuration before giving it to client, or even like we have to do some customization. It can be possible that a particular client is belong to a specific industry and the tools which are being offered in the market is not having specific features. Then we also have to do some specific custom requirement based on the client's need, right? So this is how being as an end user and being as a consultant, this is the different. If I'm not wrong, you might now must be getting the difference between the end user chartered accountant and being a consultant chartered accountant. Anyways, we are working on the same processes, there is no such difference. But now we are building the tool, okay, which actually going to be used by any end user. So this is what we have do as a consultant. Okay, so let me take another example is that like when I was working in earlier, like I was working in Infosys, and at that time I met with one of my manager who was chartered accountant and who actually worked in industry after passing out in a steel manufacturing company, one of the biggest India steel manufacturing company. And when he was there as an account manager, at that time company decided to go with SAP ERP as the main accounting software. Okay, so as a end user or as a accounting manager at that time, he was client, although he was a chartered accountant, but he was working in as an identity of a client. So CS can be at any place. It can be the client, it can be the consultant, it can be the end user. So at that time my manager was working as a client for any specific IT company who was approaching them to help them get the implemented SAP ERP and get the desired output and achieve the goal. Okay, so what my manager experienced is that he found this industry very, very innovative. Like I would say, if being an end user, it's like every time it's the same data we are feeding in the income tax tool. Always we have to just put down income tax or income from salary, income from business and profession. So now in our traditional practices, we have very less key practices are available where we have to actually apply our mind. Otherwise almost majority of the things are being done by system itself. Okay, so wherever there are predefined tasks where human mind is not required, then system is going to be replaced from this. So my manager got very, I would say, very much positive with their consulting experience. He got a chance to work with IT company. So then he gave a thought. So now, as a I have an end user experience in SAP. I have a experience being as a client. So what should be the tool? How it should be processed, and what should be the desired output from client perspective? So now, why not I go to the consulting role, because now I know all of the three aspects. I only need to work as a consultant, and which would be the really right fit to work upon. Okay, so then he decided, and then he got a chance and opportunity to work in Infosys as a consulting in a SAP FICO domain, and now from last 15 years he is in consulting domain. Are you getting any difference? He was there in 9 years in manufacturing company working as an end user, as an accounting manager, and then he suddenly changed the industry and came to IT industry and working as a consultant to help clients to get the tool installed or configured. Okay. So this is what the actual difference is. CAs are actually working on their domain knowledge, or I would say on the core business processes. But I would say only the difference would be we are changing the roles. Earlier we were as an end user, now we are as a client, and now there is one more opportunity to work as a consultant. Okay. So I hope you guys are getting my point, the difference between all the three roles, okay, and how this new emerging role is becoming an opportunity for CAs. So coming to the next slide is about how we actually work on this entire process. Okay. So as you can see in the screen, there are majorly three steps. Okay, there can be processes in business which we can actually do the automation, or there can be processes which is not even possible. Like every time I would say someone from manager have to intervene in the system to determine what are the current market rates for a particular product. So they have to actually enter a data on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis to determine their budgeting figures or their competitor values or their to determine their right manufacturing cost. So based upon that, they can also it can also help them to determine what should be our price to offer to our end customer. Okay, so in any particular business process there can be an automation, there cannot be an automation. So like here you can see first our task would be as a business process management. There are specific consultants also available as a who actually works in BPM area, who first identify the entire process. Okay, so they will identify the process currently, what is the existing process, what they are doing, which tool they are using, either they're using Excel or Microsoft database, or if their quantum is really really big, then there might be chances that they are already using some big giant ERPs as well, and they wanted to go for an upgraded version. Okay, so as a BPM consultant, his role would be to identify the process, design what should be the automated, what should be the non-automated. Now go to the RPA part. RPA is nothing but a robotic process automation. Okay. So what is this? This might be looked to you as a very bigger term in IT. Okay. So, okay, guys, first of all, there is a very clear disclaimer that IT in this webinar is not income tax. In this webinar, IT is information technology. Okay. So it might be possible that if I'm speaking about IT, then you might be considered as a income tax only, because we never have another thought apart from this IT. Okay, so being in a RPA process automation, so it's okay that the term is robotic process automation, but that doesn't mean the robot will come into picture and you guys need to do some automation. Okay, so if I will explain in layman language what is the robotic process automation means. It's okay, you just understand the process, and even if you are taking the help of Excel, and if you are making any template, or if you are using any macros in the Excel, or any specific small tool, that is also fine. It's not necessary that we need machine learning or artificial intelligence or any specific technology. For RPA, we only need some system, or only single or multiple technologies to convert the manual efforts into automate. Okay, so let me take an example here. Okay, so when I was in internship, like I was there at an internship between 2012 to 15. Okay, and you might have heard that in that 3 years we got a very big change in our curriculum. Was that changing in the Companies Act 1956 to Companies Act 2013, right? Just let me know how many of you were there in their internship period, or in that transformation when actually Companies Act 2013 came into picture, and there was so much noise, like how these rules are going to be applicable and what changes we needs to do in our accounting practices, or being a CA, what we should guide to our business or our clients. Okay, so at that time I was working in one of the, as a statutory auditor, I was going to one of the manufacturing company. Okay, and at that time there was already SAP ERP implemented, and what we have noticed is we have almost more than 10,000 assets with us in the SAP system. So, if you might know about that particular asset specific depreciation changes in Companies Act 2013, that earlier in Companies Act 1956, they used to give us the percentages to calculate the depreciation on building, or any cars, or any computers and fixtures, or any furniture. Okay, so there was earlier percentages were defined, but now, after coming with the Companies Act 2013, they have totally changed the method to calculate the depreciation in Companies Act. That now they gave us the useful life, which needs to be considered for a particular asset. So now the question is, what if till last so many years we were calculating assets based on percentages, and now you are guys giving us useful life? So how to calculate the depreciation? So what we did is we took help from one of the chartered accountant to actually understand the implications. So how should be the calculation in the industry? And at that time, although we have an SAP ERP available, but there was no solution available within a very short span of time. So what we thought is, like, we are going to make a calculation in out of SAP for all these assets where this changes or depreciation impact will be available. Okay, so someone have to work on this depreciation calculation. So at that time I was the luckier one who got chance to work on something and give us the end result. So, like, what would be there if companies like 2013 was not came and we have calculated the depreciation as per the percentages method. But now what would be the impact if we are calculating the percentages based on useful life? Okay, there is one more complicated complication was there, that we have to put 5% scrap value in all the assets. That was a mandatory one. So then I juggled very much in the Excel sheet, because at that time in internship I was only known with one of the tools, that was only Excel. That we also get trainings in our ITT and even in advanced ITT in finals as well, right? So what I did is I went to Google, I learned all this VLOOKUP, match formulas, and pivot tables, and I almost worked on that, I would say maybe 10 to 15 days, and then I come up with a template, okay, where you just need to enter asset number, you need to enter assets gross value, its tilde net value in the books of accounts, and now what is the useful life given by companies in 2013 for a particular asset. And Excel, with the one click of a button, I set it up a one macro in that template. So with one click of a button, you will get a full list of assets for more than 10,000 assets got depreciation for year 2014 within one click of button. So that is also an RPA, I would say in a layman language. I took the help of Excel and I changed the process. If what if I need to calculate one asset one by one on a calculator? That would be really difficult, right? And even that wasn't the right accurate data. We cannot trust on that data if we have calculated one by one manually. So also our Excel templates got audited by our internal audit, that is this the calculation right? Because no one was trusting that this intern has actually created this template. So my template got audited by two of the senior chartered accountants, and then it got approved. And I was very much happy that in 2014, depreciation got posted by the template which I have created. Okay, so I was very much happy that, see, hey, I did some magic and I did some miracle to help the company and get the calculation done. So at that time, I also got learning that this is kind of something interesting and we can think about it. There's really nice opportunity to see what further we can go here. So then I also did some analysis, like what are the opportunities available. And from my manager and CFO, I understood that if you are really good with Excel processing or Excel automation, why don't you go for SAP consulting or Oracle consulting? These are really niche areas. If you have really good logical mind where you can, because anyways, we as a chartered accountants, we are good with the business processes. Only we have to apply a specific logical mind to determine the process. We just have to make the flow chart. Otherwise, rest of the things will be done by development or engineers, right? We don't need to go and do coding as well. So this is what I wanted to explain in robotic process automation. And once we are good with any particular automation, as a, if you can see another third slab, that is POA. POA is nothing but process of architecture. So like now as a in one of the company, we are using Excel for one data processing, we are using any particular ERP for one data processing, we are taking out the data and reporting in Excel or Word document, okay, to third party, our auditors or our bankers. So what should be the entire process, that POA will be defined. Okay, so process of architecture, right? One more example here I wanted to share is that, let's take an example of e-filing. Okay, so every year budget comes on February 1, right? And every year we get some very new amendments in the Income Tax Act and calculations, and like every time when after March closing, based on the amendments, software companies have actually need to work upon that what is changes would be required in the calculation. Like if budget is coming up with that, now for corporates taxes are going to be changed from 30% to 25%, right? So I think gross taxes was 25%, if I'm not wrong, in corporate taxes change. So once like this government department has just declared the percentages, newly applicable percentages to corporate, but now for end users, for CS, it was really, really big trouble that till the time if no software is coming up with a solution or update in their software, we cannot file our income tax returns, right? So for any software like a Cubic software available for income tax, or I believe Genius is there for GST and income tax TDS filings. So for them also, they are not the right person to judge what is the impact of changing in the percentage in their software. So even they have to take a help from any qualified person like us, that what is your viewpoint on a particular change, what should be the new process, how taxes should be determined, how taxes should be calculated. And once like you guys are sitting on your office and waiting for the particular software update, and you see in the notification that yes, system update is there, and once you are done with your patches update or system update, now you are ready to go with your income tax filing, right? So this is also a process where software company has to first determine the business process for a particular change, how to implement this. They have to take a help from RPA, okay, to do the automation. They will do some coding or do some configuration, okay, and they will again change the process architecture. So it might be even possible, right? There we also have to change the upload file template, so like whether it is a XML template or whether it is a TXT file, or which file we have to upload in the income tax department or in the URL, right? So this is about like how the process is actually working in the consulting. Okay guys, I hope you guys are getting me and it's not making you bored. Just let me know if you it's actually going to be technical, then I'll make it simpler for you guys by sharing some more example. Okay. So here you can see one more standard business process. Okay. Order to cash. I hope every one of you must have gone through this process some or other way, like while auditing. So you are going to audit your manufacturing customer, okay, and they have a process that as a first step they have got an order from their customer, so that is nothing but a sales order they have received, okay. So now they are, after manufacturing, they are delivering the goods to their customer. Based on the delivery, they also send their customer the billing as well, because we cannot wait for the amount, right? Money should always come first. So once we have sent the billing to our customer will have their own accounting system where they will also process our invoice. Like for them, we are vendors and they are our customers. For so they will also initiate the payment in their system. Like either they will do generate online banking, or they will also give us the check, manual check, or they can also do cash payment. So like in giant MNCs, there is a process that every time if our customer is initiating our payment, then he will also give us some payment advice. Okay, that hey, here is the reference number that I asked my bank to give the payment to my supplier. So we are pretty much sure that now we don't need to go to our customer and bother him about the payment. We have the reference number available. We can directly connect the bank and ask them, hey, what is the payment stuck? How many days will it take? Okay. And eventually, once bank will process the data, and then we will get the credit amount in our bank account. Okay, so this is the cycle. Once again we got the money, we again invest this money in manufacturing more goods, and again it will go to the sales cycle. But now let's assume you might have learned this concept in CA final or even in IPCC, I believe, that every company have to have some minimum stock availability in their storage, right? They cannot just directly sell every goods to their customer. They have to have some safety stock available. So now how to make this process available in any system? Okay, so if I would say, if we will take an example of SAP ERP, then there is a specific functionality available where that if we are getting a sales order and we are delivering goods, and if system is getting that now quantity is going below the level of minimum stock, then at the same time system will again create another purchase requisition, okay, to our vendor, hey, please supply us goods, we are going out of stock. Or what they will do, if we are manufacturing within our company, then we will just send one more uh, requisition to our manufacturing department to please manufacture this particular goods, we are going out of stock or we are below the minimum stock. So there is a specific limit, we cannot be, if there is a specific system configured in such a way that system will not even allow to post or allowed to deliver goods below the minimum stock. If there is a specific requirement and urgency, then yes, there are exceptions available. So this is how this is the business process, and we are very much good with this process, right? We have already did this in our auditing, and now, as a consultant, what our role would be, that we should have some basic knowledge in the SAP, that even these standard processes are available in the system, but it can be possible that based on client's requirement, we have to configure the system on a specific need. And before delivering this to a client, we also have to test the system, right? Whether this correct sales order is being booked in the system, or whether delivery is passing with the correct freight order or not, or whether billing is generated, we are getting the correct payment entries in our bank books of account. Okay, so this was the example for the standard business process, which is already available in, I would say, 90% of the ERPs. Okay, now let me go through the how many big ERPs are available where we can actually work as an consultant, or this is really pretty much standard available or ready to use systems available. So there are SAP ERP, Oracle's ERP is also there, QuickBook Intuit. You might have heard QuickBook. Is that it's a web-based portal and all the data stored on the cloud, and you guys need to just log into QuickBook on a website and you can do your accounting. Anybody can sit anywhere and just do the accounting. So even for QuickBook, there are specific consultants who first, before ready to use, they need to do some pretty steps to follow the process, and then system will be able to ready to use. There is a Tele ERP. If you see 10 years back Tele ERP and today's Tele ERP, earlier there was only accounting software. As a accounting, it was available. Now we have features available for auditing features. We have, I would say, GST filing. We can directly do GST from Tele ERP. We have also features available for income tax. Okay. Excel based data modeling. This is also really good area where we can work upon. We may need to have a some good hands-on experience in Excel where we can prepare data modeling, regression data. Like, guys, also believe me, whatever you guys are actually learning in your final subjects or IPCC subjects, it's actually there in the market. You cannot be, it may be possible that you are not seeing on the front screen or it's not visible to everyone, but actually it is really visible, or it's already set up in the current environment. This is how our accounting is being happening, or our income tax or GSTs are being done, or costing or any specific costing auditing is being done. Okay, so never ever thought that if when we are studying this in our finals, does it really going to help anywhere? But being as an IT consultant, I can really assure you guys, I have gone through each and every process which I have learned. Even you might have getting frustrated in SFM, strategic financial management, right? That why this foreign exchange rates coming in, why there is a need of direct rate or indirect quote. But guys, this is the need, and this is actually available in the system if you use any big ERPs for MNCs. it can be possible you have not got exposure earlier to work with any MNCs, but this is all available in the industry. Okay, so there is, yes, clear text web based tool, right? So if you see, clear text is just 8 to 10 years old. I think I it got founded in 2012, clear text company. And you see the story behind that clear text founder Archay Gupta, right? So he was actually there in London doing some data analyst job, and he was pretty fine settling his life there. But once he came to Delhi at his residence, he met with his father. His father was a chartered accountant, and at that time, in nearly about 2010 or 11, he understood like so many manual tasks that you have to do. Why are you guys doing this so many manual things? Why can't we have just a simple tool which do all this tasks on behalf of you? So at that time, he just have a thought to make some specific tool. Okay, like anyway, softwares were already there, so he thought to make a web-based tool, so even users don't need to install a specific software in their system. They can work from anywhere, any system, any location. So that time he worked on a developed this particular clear text software that was initially working upon only income tax filing, right? But eventually they have also extended their hands in GST, I believe. Yes, they are now giving the services for GST return filings as well. And if you see, that is really, really so easy to use that, guys, I believe that these people are making this process is so easy that eventually it can be possible that we industry may not require chartered accountants to file their income tax returns or to file their GST returns. Through this GST simplified version, it was way simpler than VAT or excise or customs. Things are pretty simple to learn or to quickly file the returns. Even now, accountants can do this task because what they have did is they transferred the job of manual efforts into the system. Now, it may be possible if there is a specific key areas where someone have to take a help or advice from a chartered accountant to what is the taxability or whether it is applicable to us or not, or any scrutiny cases, then yes, that is always the premium available to us. But whatever the areas which are not, I would say, complex stuff, then that can be simplified with the software help. Okay. So coming to the next slide is IT project cycle. Okay. So 1 minute. So IT project cycle. So let me share one more example here is that when I joined Infosys, like I joined probably in 2016, June 2016, and they gave us 2 months of specific training to work upon SAP. And I was very much sure with my career that I got an experience in SAP, ERP, and now I wanted to get my hands dirty in ERP or in consulting. So I need to go to IT company only. So I only apply for Infosys and TCS in my campus, and I got rejected in written test in TCS. But luckily, I got an opportunity with Infosys, and that was really wonderful experience to work with Infosys. I believe it should be the dream of every person. Maybe you haven't seen that company, but it's really way too good with their environment. And okay, so when I got a project after 2 months of training, it was totally different environment. Like there was no thing working upon income tax return or working on specific auditing. Like we used to go to our client place and understand the process and do the auditing and go to the bankers, go to the government audits, right? There was a total different project cycle. So even what I understood is people were leaving job within 3 to 4 months. That hey, this is not the work we have used to do in our internship. Guys, first of all, we are not anyways doing 100% industry work in our internship. Anyways, always there is something new comes when you are going for a job. So please stop with that myth that whatever we are working in the internship, that should be the work environment, or this is only we can do. No, this is totally wrong myth. If you see this IT project cycle, this is always seem like what we used to do in our finalizing the books of accounts. Let me take an example for this. So let's create a scenario that March is already been completed and now you are doing audit for your client. Okay. So you went to the client, you understand the requirement, you did the audit and you come up with a few queries, right? Now, what is your role would be to, if you have worked on Tele ERP, then your CA partner will ask you to do some scrutiny in Tele that what you think this is the wrong accounting entry or this is the wrong date has been posted or bank reconciliation is not matching, right? So as a first level, you will do the scrutiny, right? If I'm not wrong. Then this scrutiny will be passed on to your senior members. Your senior member will go through the queries which you have highlighted, okay, and then it he will do another scrutiny further. He will check. He may find new more queries, or he may get delete few of the queries which is no more relevant. Okay, so at the end, our CA partner will come into picture. He will do the overview and then he will sit with the client. Hey man, this is the wrong accounting entry you are booking. This is the wrong expenses. It should not be like that. But it may be possible that client is coming up with an argument. No, this is how we wanted to process, and this is the actual accounting it should happen in our industry, or this is the real expenses we are actually incurring in our day-to-day businesses. Okay, and based upon that, once we are getting a client confirmation, then we will prepare the audit report, right? And then it will be submitted to income tax. So now if I will correlate this entire process with IT project, we got a requirement for a client that, hey guys, we have to implement this SAP ERP to our company. We want your help to do some configuration and make the system ready. We will give you the requirements. We will let you know that what is these industry specific solutions we wanted to build upon. Okay. So as a first stage, we will first understand the requirement, that is there any specific challenges you are going through in your business. Is there a specific manual efforts you are going through, or do you really think that this is really coming with the wrong data or wrong output, you are not getting the correct figures whenever you need. Okay, so this would be the business requirement. Based upon that, we will see that whatever the configuration or whether the pre-configured system is available. If not, if there is a specific configuration change. Configuration means like in Tele ERP, before starting the accounting, you guys have to create a company, right? You guys have to create a master data for your suppliers, for your customers. Same like that, you in big ERPs, you have to first set up your system. You have to make your system ready to use available, where all the supplier data is created, all the customer data is available, all the banking details are available, right? There can be possibility that the customer is facing a scenario and his managing director is coming up with an query that, hey guys, even though if a particular reporting is not available in the standard system, still I want this reporting, that where I need to enter the particular inputs to the system, and why can't we create a custom report for this? I want this available in my system. With the one click, I should be able to see how this manufacturing is going on, what is the current costing of the goods. Okay, so 90% of the chances are there that big ERPs have already standard configurable solutions available, where we don't need to do any development. If in case we require any development, okay, then we already know the business requirement, right? So as a consultant, our role would be to prepare a document and let the development team know that what should be the desired output. That guys, you have to do some coding, okay, that it should be work in a specific manner, it should follow this process, and this is our desired output. Now we are also good with the second stage, and now we are going in the unit testing. It's a bit IT terms, but I definitely know that you guys have heard some or other with these terms in your CA studies, right? So once I would say system is available as a first intern, we are doing scrutiny here in system. We are doing testing the system, like whether correct accounting, debiting, crediting is working fine, whether banking payments are coming in the system, or I would say reconciliation is available, right or not, right? So this would be the first level of scrutiny. Then coming on to the next scrutiny. Now our senior CA, who is very near to our CF partners, he will do the scrutiny. He will get another chance. Hey, come up with more testing results and let us know if there is any still things which we need to work upon. Okay, so once we are also fine with the system implementation testing, here in the last stage where client will come into picture, clients users will come and they will test the system, that whether whatever the business requirement they gave to us, whether it's working fine, whether they are getting the desired output, whether they are getting the correct accounting results, or whether the balance sheet of P&L is coming right or not. So once we are getting the user acceptance testing confirmation from our client, here we are to go live with the system and we are done with our task. Going on to the next project, we again learn new industry, new business requirement, and same we will do the configuration. We will follow the same steps, right? So really good thing about is we always get a same like in CA practice, we always get a chance to work in different industries, understand the processes, understand the requirements, and at the end of the day, we are getting some good feelings that today we have actually created something out of the box. We have created something automated that now user don't have to need to fill the details in Excel. They can go to the particular system, they can enter the report and they have the ready results available, right? So if you are very good with the creative mindset and you are really think that you wants to do something innovative, then this is really the right fit for you guys. Okay, so as a, I would say, being in the consulting, or if you are looking really looking for working in the consulting domain, then here are the few IT skill sets which I would suggest you must have at least one or two skill sets to work upon. That SAP FICO is like a specific finance and costing models available in standard SAP, where actual CAs or MBA in finance work in consulting, right? And even in Oracle Hyperion. So Oracle Hyperion is like a, I would say, out of the ERP tool that it actually consolidates the data from all the financial statements. Like, hey guys, you must be having this particular chapter in your finals, that consolidating financial statements, right? The CFS chapter, we were used to merge the financials for holding company. We were adding all the balance sheet figures from subsidiary and making the consolidated data. So in our final, I used to remember that almost every time in every attempt, we were having one CFS accounting sum in our examination paper, and it was almost taking over 45 minutes, at least 30 to 45 minutes. And at every time, it was really difficult to manually match the balance sheet, right? So now, under think from a real life scenario, one global company, take an example of Google. Google is actually now diversifying their business and creating a specific subsidiary companies, right? So how it is really difficult to merge all the subsidiary accounting data, all the pay a P&L balance sheet into one holding company. So this is the Oracle Hyperion tool, which actually help you guys. We need to configure the system, and then with very specific following steps, you can get your desired output. Intuit certification, that is also available for QuickBook in the market. Big data analyst also a good opportunity where you can also work on data analytics, or logical work will come upon advanced Excel, right? and always being as a domain knowledge, we are always good with IFRS or Ind-AS or accounting, taxation, costing process, right? Guys, costing process, whatever we are learning in our final subject, everything is actually implemented in all the manufacturing companies. They are guys following it. If you have anywhere got a chance to work on any costing audit report, then you must have seen that almost all the processes are being followed in the industry. And in SAP, in CO module, entire processes are ready-made available. You can do all the calculations in the system. Fine. Now, the biggest question is which companies are there who actually hires chartered accountants? So here I have just highlighted few of the companies where service-based companies or product-based companies who actually hires chartered accountants. So if you can see, guys, my journey is from Infosys, I jumped to Accenture. Now I'm looking for next some adventure, and I'm really happy with my journey for working as a consulting domain. So these are all the companies which you may can refer in social media to apply for a job or right. Okay, so this is where always the cream part, right? Always we first think what will be the package being offered in IT consulting. So I would say if let's take an in general analysis, and what I understood from the industry is that in general CA practice firm, if you are doing a CA job, then on an average you are getting 2.5 lakh to 4.5 lakh based on your city or like how much need you are in or how much experience you have or how much CS willing you to hire, right? Another area is industry job where you can actually work in manufacturing company, in banking sector, or in service-based industry where you can work as an account manager, finance manager, right? As a credit manager. There is the average pay scale is 4 to 6 lakh. But if you see the IT consulting job, there is a bit premium available compared to two jobs available for us. So on an average, for IT consulting job, I have analyzed that people are getting on an average 6 to 8 lakh a package as a fresher, and that is really the right figures I can say. And even I have seen people who are actually getting 10 lakhs of package as a fresher. So this is can be a new thing for you guys, but really if you will give a thought for this is really possible. It may take time to approach a company or maybe to learn a specific skill set, but if you are once good with this, then the career is yours. Okay, so being as a professional, we can also work independently on this particular IT consulting skill set. So this is the one of the platform. Okay, this Upwork and freelancing platforms are there in the market where people can actually register as a consultant or as a specific service provider, and they can get the clients from this platform. You can see like this is the screenshot which I have captured yesterday only from this website, and you can see for this particular SAP FICO skill set he is also having some technical knowledge. That is fine, but he's charging $35 per hour. See, can you see the difference? Even as a consulting job, this is much more ahead than that, right? Apart from this, you can also see finance modeler working in Excel wizard. If you have knowledge in macro, you can also get projects for macro Excel work as well. But one more thing is you cannot get a project on a first day itself. You need to work upon on a specific skill set. You have to think which area you wanted to pursue in, be the master of that skill set, and eventually within 6 months or 8 to 10 months of period, you will also be ready to give the consulting or service to your clients, and you can also get this rates. This is almost, I would say, if this $35, that means almost 3,000 per hour. This is really good amount in professional services, right? Okay, so I hope that you guys got an idea about what is this IT consulting is about and what you should actually learn for, and if you're really looking towards it, then I would say you should take the benefit of this lockdown's impact, and you can go to this portal Udemy and Coursera, where you can get the courses available for all the skill sets. You can also do some more research for which particular skill set so you wanted to go for. Okay, and I would suggest that before going any specific product specific certification, like there is always market certification available in SAP, in Intuit, but I would suggest first go with the smaller courses where you will get a basic idea about a particular tool, about its skill set, and then you are fine that yes, I wanted to make my career in this, then you can always go for the product certification. Okay, so I hope you guys have got an idea about basic understanding. Okay, so we can now maybe get the Q&A questions from our audiences, that if they have anything they wanted to come up. Guys, if you have any specific questions related to a specific tool or any skill set or any company specific question you wanted to ask me, you can just drop in here in comment section. Okay, there might be some time lag, so maybe we will get questions in 10 to 15 seconds. Hey, hi Mansi.
Hi.
So, being in a techie area, you might also got an understanding, right? How consulting is working.
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay, so we have one question, right? That whether we are okay. Okay, now I got the questions. Okay, we have a question from Chirag that is it really matters that how many attempts we have in the CA final while applying in IT job? See, guys, it doesn't matter, right? Like I would say, if you have more number of attempts, then you are pretty much more experienced than us. That you have actually worked on a real life scenarios, and attempt doesn't matter. It's okay if companies are not considering your profile. Just consistent with your approach with, and always do follow up with the company. There is no such fundamentals to do not consider for CS having more attempts. Okay. Okay, I got a question from Darshan. Is that being in a practicing CA, how can we divert into consulting? Right. So I have a very good example that even one of my friend is working in CA practice, and even he's still in final, but he is really good with his GST knowledge. Okay, and he is giving services to one of the GST service provider who is actually working on a particular software, and my friend is giving a consulting that how GST should be calculated, what should be the system process. So really, if you can, yeah, if you are good with any specific CA scenarios or any business processes, you can find in the industry what are the current tools or software companies are actually working upon. You can give the consulting to them as well. Okay, so I got a question that if we are fresher, that how can we start this career? So I already explained that you can have a basic learning, or if you have got a internship experience in any of the ERPs, that would be an advantage. Or otherwise, you can go through specific certifications. I would suggest before costlier certifications, just go for the Coursera or Udemy, where you can got a certification for 400 to 500 or maximum $1,000. get an understanding. Okay. Okay. So I think we don't have much questions to answer at this moment. So, guys, if you still have any questions, okay, you can also connect me on this email ID I'm going to share with you. So no worries, you can just drop me email on kishanjpujar@gmail.com, right? And drop your query if you need any guidance to start your career in IT or any consulting domain, you can reach out to me. But always remember, like as Robin Sharma said, that every professional was once an amateur and every master started as a beginner. So you might be finding this profile a bit tacky, but really believe me, this is not the technical profile we as a CS can actually work upon. So you guys have already took the first step in your journey and you are good with the knowledge. So you can now think about which particular skill set you wanted to go, which tools you wanted to provide a consulting.
Okay.
Okay. So anyways, we are out of time.
Hello.
Like we have already extended 15 minutes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So thank you so much, Kishan, for sharing in that knowledge about various IT domains and opportunities for CAs. So and thank you everyone. It was great to have you all in this webinar. I believe you all has find this very helpful. So thank you so much to everyone. Thank you.
Thanks everyone for joining the session. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.